So here's the reason I had to make the trailer lights work, the last two videos, and the trailer brakes. This big heavy thing. So, wanted to lift for a long time, but I had 3 in my classroom at work. But then I retired 3 years ago. I knew I was going to miss the lifts. I've talked about in my alignment videos that making a level floor in all directions and make it so I can move the wheels and whatnot, and can't turn plates for caster settings or measuring. Anyway, I thought I wanted a 4-post lift. I still kind of do, because I still need one for storage. But I saw this one on Facebook Marketplace. It is a forward 10,000 pound 2-post lift that has runways made by Hunter. They're alignment runways that have legs that come down and have adjustable ends on them, so I can make it perfectly level, and it'll still go up to 5 or 6 feet tall. So it can be a regular lift and an alignment lift. Like perfect. Well, I drove 200 some odd miles yesterday to go pick it up. Got home late last night. This thing's heavy, very heavy. I did not make much speed coming home. And 200 miles there and 200 some odd miles, well, I think 222 miles each direction. Long day. And this thing's heavy. The guy I bought it from, Larry. Nice to meet you, Larry. Larry's a great guy. Last thing he expected when selling a lift was to have to care for me for a couple hours, because he has a little track hoe to pick it up out of his trailer, put it on mine. I was doing the chains. Climbing up and down, hooking the chain here, hooking chains there, putting it on the bucket, and he was moving. I was stabilizing, putting it down, moving cribbing. I was going. It was only in the mid-80s, but it was very humid. I got overheated. I think I got a little bit dehydrated too, because I didn't drink much on the way over there. Because I was riding AC Comfort, cruising along in the Cow Dog at 66 miles an hour, which was happy speed with the Banks turboed GEP 6500, the 4L80E, 373 gears, and the 35-inch tall tires. It was happy at 1850 RPM. It was just cruising right along. I didn't drink enough water, I guess. But we got almost done, and I was having trouble standing up. I pulled a camp chair out of the Cow Dog, poured myself into it, and just kind of laid there while Larry brought me cold water. I drank it, drank some more. He brought me some Cliff Bars. Finally, after an hour or so, I got to where I could sit up and focus. Thank you, Larry. Last thing you expected was some fat old bald guy passing out in your front yard, but almost happened. But I made it home, and I just now coming out to untie it. This is my first video of this. I'm going to call it a forward Hunter DP10S lift. Now that I have those information, I will search for it and try to find some manuals. So now I got to assemble this stupid thing. These towers are 12 feet tall. The runways are 16 feet long. Let me do a little tour here. And it's got 2 wheels-free jacks, pneumatic. Now here's what it is. It's a DP10S, 10,000 pound capacity lift. Got these massive things on it. And even the ramps. It's hard for one person to pick up each ramp. Unfortunately, we put the power pack inverted and all the fluid drained out while I was driving. So if you were behind me on Highway 59, Texas 7, or Texas 21 last night and got a windshield in front of your car full of hydraulic oil, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't know I was doing that. But yes, 2 wheels-free lifts are jacks. 2 towers. I got to figure out the cables. I think I might have to get new cables or do something with cables. But then the runways, 16 feet long, got rear slip plates, so I can do rear toe and rear camber adjustments and no troubles. And it's got pockets for the front turn plates. We don't have the turn plates. I gotta find those. So anybody out there watching has a set of Hunter vintage Hunter term plates that have the degreed marker on them, I'd be interested. But yeah, we got hydraulic fluid everywhere. And, oh, this is heavy. This thing's very heavy. I got to figure out how to unload it now. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. But this is the before on the lift. I got to unload this sucker somehow. And I was worried about getting it home at all last night. Let me go through and talk about that. I didn't mess the camera up. Not that bad. Cowdog. 4L80E transmission. I got used 40,000 miles ago. I have a Computech HGM electronics transmission control module. Works perfect. And I got a AB, it's got an AB button. I can change the modes of the transmission. And normally if I'm running fourth overdrive, it'll lock up. I got it set to 59 miles an hour. But I had to hit the button, and I can put it down to third, direct drive, no overdrive, and it'll still lock up the truck over at 59 miles an hour. That's how I was running this thing. Coming out, well, there's lots of hills. East Texas roads are like roller coasters, up and down, up and down. I got the cruise control on this thing, the GM Electromatic or Electro Cruise, or I've done videos about it before, the AC Delco Cruise from the 90s. It's very aggressive. If it's a quarter mile an hour below, it floors it. Well, on one of those long grades, it was 80% throttle. I was at 8 pounds of boost. We were climbing. We were at the speed. We were going, but we were climbing. And all of a sudden, the tach went to red line. The speedometer went almost to zero and came back up again. Cruise cut off, and the indicator light for the AB switch started flashing. I lost my transmission. I was still 200 miles from home when that happened. It's like, oh, it's already been a long day. I don't need to lose my transmission too. I got back on the power, everything worked. So I reset the AB switch because it had turned off. Same thing happened a few miles later on another long hill with the cruise control. So I stopped using cruise control. And every now and then it would happen again. Finally, at full dark, I'm still 100 miles from home. I figured that switch has got to be the problem. So I just unplugged everything on the switch. I just reached down behind there, and while I'm driving, just unplugged the whole thing. That'll fix it. Yeah, until I got about 85, 90 miles from home. I'm leaving a town called Madisonville on Highway 21, going toward Bryan, and my speedometer dropped to, I was at 30 miles an hour, 32 actually. Speedometer dropped to zero. My indicator on the transmission control unit said 32, and it wasn't changing, and I had no gears. I was like in neutral. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm stranded. I coasted to the shoulder, and I got down to almost stopped. Everything came alive again. Like, what the heck was that? So I get on the power, pull back out in traffic, and I go, because I'm still 2 hours from home, lots of twisty, curvy roads to go, and I want to get home. And I didn't want to turn it off, because if it's electronic, I got voltage everywhere, but right now it's kind of working. I don't want to, if it's something's about to die on me, I don't want to turn it off and make it reset and then have nothing. So I kept going. The big town of North Zilch, Texas on Highway 21, going through there. It did it again. Speedometer to zero, and I was froze at 45 on the indicator for the transmission control unit. It's like, oh, I got the power, eased back into it, and it was free rev, and all of a sudden it caught. So the 4L80E is electronic, it has solenoids. They control what gear you're in. When there's no speed indicator, it goes to neutral. You have to have a speed signal. So the next 75, 80 miles, I was thinking, what the heck is causing this? I have a 241, MP 241 transfer case with the electronic VSS out of one of the vehicles in my parts depot, a 1990 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Suburban. That's where I pulled the transfer case from, and the sender. So is my VSS going bad? Is the wires going bad? Is my Computech TCU going bad? I don't know. The last 75 miles, I had no troubles at all. When I got within 5 miles of the house, I reset the cruise, and I actually tried to make it fail again, and I couldn't. I was hoping to figure out, okay, what's going on. Because I was close to my wife could come drag me home with another vehicle. Couldn't figure it out. I will inspect things and get back to you on that. But 2 stories. Got the lift. I got to unload it somehow, which might be a few videos of me hurting myself. I don't know. We'll see. And troubles with the truck. But the last 75 miles, no troubles at all. I don't know. I don't like having a problem that fixed itself and still trust the thing to drive. I got to figure that out. So there'll be more videos about both issues. But the AC did great. I was cold the whole time. Thanks for watching.